I can see that the drone's actually sketching out a little bit. The angle's going up and down. I guess this is what happens when you get yourself a beta version. Hello beautiful internet family, my name is Dan Davis and I'm the creative director here at DansTube.TV, as well as Australia's #1 ranked drone YouTuber, and I'm very excited today to test out Dronelink's beta. So I'm testing out the Mini 3 and Mini 3 Pro utilizing the follow me mode. Big calling card for a lot of people out there who got the Mini 3. You can now utilize the follow me mode through Dronelink. It is in beta, so definitely be careful. I would suggest that most people wait for the public release, but I am the guinea pig today testing out the follow me mode, and I'm utilizing my girlfriend's bike here, you know, style, why not? And we're gonna do a few things. I'm gonna do a few little walking tests, a few tests on the bike, and let's just see how well it performs. So you can see right now on the screen, this is the Dronelink interface. Click on that little lightning bolt there, and that's kind of like the quick start mode. And then from here we can scroll down. I was actually right there. Click on follow, and then the application crashes. Let's try that again. Remember, this is in beta. Okay, it's recognized I've got the Mini 3 Pro. Let's hope this time it works. It's still recording, that's promising. I'm gonna click on that again. Let's hope that this one works. Could be the fact that maybe I'm recording the screen as well as recording from the drone. Let's click on follow, hope it doesn't crash again, fingers crossed. Okay, we're looking promising so far. So move around while the drone follows you. Get started, fly the drone to where it should follow you. So I'm gonna actually launch it up. We're gonna get it above the tree line. So let's angle down a bit, fly back. So I'm just down there on that bench. What height are we at right now? So we're gonna go to just over, let's go to like 40, right? Okay, next. All right, you will likely see poor results unless you fly further away. There we go. So let's get a bit of distance. I think we kind of need a decent amount of distance for this track. Yep, all good. Next. Yes, I do know how to use those. Perfect. We're just going to generate the follow me mode. And now I'm just going to click on follow. Obstacle avoidance not supported. Be prepared to take control by tapping the on-screen pause button or by switching to F or S mode on the remote controller. So let's click on I understand, flip up the bike peg. Okay, and now it seems to be following me. So I have no idea what kind of angle it's going to be following on. I can see that the drone's actually sketching out a little bit. The angle's going up and down. I guess this is what happens when you get yourself a beta version. The drone isn't really doing a great job of following me right now, so we'll pause that because that was very sketchy. Let's see how it goes now. Okay. I don't know what is happening. Let's click on the drop down. Is there an option? Right. Is not working. I just tried to get the follow me mode working for Dronelink, but it miserably failed. So we're checking out Waypoints now. I had a little play around just before and it seems to work. You got to remember Dronelink is in the beta mode right now for the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro. This is massive news for Mini 3 users because we can unlock Waypoints as well as the follow me mode. For DJI Mini 3 Pro users, we've obviously already got active track, but we now get follow mode, waypoints, focus, all these different exciting modes. But we're going to check out the waypoint modes right now. I'm just going to set a few waypoints and see how it performs. Seems to be going a little bit better. So we'll test it out and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you have to say. So let's now get the drone up in the air, away from a few different things. So now it kind of walks us through the waypoint planning mode. It does seem to be a little bit different to what I've tested in the past. I don't know if this is kind of like a changed version of Waypoints for Dronelink, or whether they had to change a few things just while they're testing out some of the other features. But basically, I can't seem to plan it on the map right now through the app version. So if I kind of click on the map, it won't allow me to go in here and then kind of press and hold on a point. So I'd like to make that point there. You can see that little white circle. I'm pressing and holding, but it's not letting me. It's actually saying I have to fly to each waypoint to mark the location. So maybe that's something that will come soon. But what we'll do here is we'll just set a basic little waypoint. I'm going to increase the height because obviously this is a beta. I want to make sure that we are being safe here. Let's get to over 30 meters. So we'll do that one there. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to set a basic one. So I'm going to mark that point there. And now all you have to do is fly forward. And then we're going to mark another point right here. You can see there's 2 points now, 1, 2 on the top right corner under waypoints. And I'm going to move around here, but I'm going to kind of turn a little bit just to reveal over here. And let's see how it goes with that. So we're going to mark that. That's perfect. I can now press on next. And I want it to capture media. So yes, capture that video for us. We'll leave the advanced settings on. We're going to make the fly speed, so I think we'll make it 10 kilometers, just because sometimes going too fast can actually make the movements look a little awkward and robotic. We'd like it to fly on a curved path as opposed to straight. Straight feels definitely a lot more robotic. And then you have the option framing from waypoint. So how to rotate the drone and gimbal. So based on how I was looking before and where I captured that moment, that's actually where it will go with the framing. I can also press on that, go point of interest and a few others. So we'll actually just leave it framing from waypoint or framing from waypoints. We want it to fly in the order forwards. I'm not even going to name the mission. So there's all the parameters. I'm going to press continue now, and we're going to see how this performs. So it's estimating the waypoint. It's saying 48 seconds, which is, I would imagine, an estimation of how long this is going to take to fly this. And now what we're going to see is the drone flying back to the original waypoint. You can see in the map in the bottom left here, it's actually flying back on the path where I originally set it up. So I'm glad that I've got the height that I have, because there are a few relatively tall trees around here. So now it's hit its point, it's now rotating, it's turning around. Let's see if it starts recording. So it hasn't, oh yeah, there we go. It started recording now. It's actually doing what it's saying, which is really nice. I was having issues, like I was saying, with the beta version of the follow me mode. This seems to be relatively smooth right now. This is looking quite clean. Let's see, all the angle, look at that. Nice revealing shot. Wow, that actually looks impressive. Okay, cool. So let's see if the mission finishes and then what happens. So 35 meters, 3 waypoints. It's now into return to home. We get the confetti launcher. Congratulations, it was at like 5 frames per second. So let's now see how it goes returning. Now I'm going to show you how to plan some Waypoint missions for your Mini 3 and Mini 3 Pro. This is utilizing the Dronelink desktop application, which is just through their website. So what I'm going to do is we're going to literally create our first waypoint. So click on waypoint. This is going to be the takeoff point here, and you'll see it automatically kind of generates a path for me. So all I have to do is drag the point. So what I actually want to do for the first flight is I just want to do a bit of a pier flight. So this is a pier here down at Wellington Point. Oh, I'm going to drag a few waypoints down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of create, I might pull C back here, and what we'll do is we'll create like a little bit of a circle right at the end. So you can see all I'm doing is it's nice and easy to plan waypoints here. I've got it set up so it's a curved path, so I find that to be a little bit more reliable. Just over here as well, I'm going to change the speed to 10 kilometers an hour because I find that to be a lot more reliable. You can see the action on finishes to return to home. I'm actually going to make it none because I want to do another flight straight after it. Takeoff restrictions, we're going to leave that, and then the name, we're just literally going to make it Pier Mini 3 series, I think. Yep, so that's done. We've named all that. And now what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to add kind of a circle at the end of this mission here, because I want this point here to be the point of interest. So it's already automatically created a point of interest over here. So I'm going to kind of drag that over there and make the tip of the pier right at the end of the pier the point of interest. You can see it's following down the pier here. The parameters are also, we've got 30 meters, 34 meters, and then it just stays at 34 meters. So what I'm actually going to do is I think I'll just set this one as well at 30 meters. So for this one, we'll just keep it the same height. Now what you can do is you can increase the height, you can decrease the height, you can kind of create some dynamic movements, but that's kind of the first mission that I'm thinking. Comes along the pier, we're still looking at that point there, and then it's going to be circling around the pier. Everything's at 34 meters. We now need to change the point of interest. So the altitude offset. So this is basically for the point of interest, we want to make sure that the drone is actually looking down at the pier. So what we're going to set this to, probably 10 meters would make sense, I would imagine. So now that's at 10 meters for altitude offset. And what you can do over here is there's a 3D planner, mission estimate, mission preview, and then you can undo. So we're just going to click on mission preview. And we're just going to generate the preview and make sure that it's actually doing what it's saying it's going to be doing. Okay, so now I can press play. I can see this is the little park. The drone's going to be taking off from this park. You can see over here, this is the virtual drone. It's increasing in altitude. It's flying up, flying up. Let's skip a little bit. It flies out to point A, and now this is the test to make sure that it's actually looking down at the pier, because you can plan all of this and then get to the site and then it might not work the way you want it to. Okay, so what I can see, it is looking down at the pier. You can see that it's coming along, looking right down at the end, and then it's flying back. Perfect. So this is exactly what we wanted, and then it's a bit of a revealing shot of the point at Wellington Point. How perfect's that? That preview shows me that I can be confident that it's going to get the kind of framing that I'm looking for, which is the most important thing when I'm at home, because I don't really want to be changing this on the fly when I'm there. So this is looking like a good mission. We can save this one and then move on to mission 2. So this is mission 2 here, something slightly different. What I'm actually thinking is I'm going to make the point of interest more of the center point of Wellington Point. So it's basically going to be focusing in on the center of Wellington Point. I'm going to change this altitude. We might go with 15 this time, because that means that it will angle up a little bit more and hopefully show us more of the horizon. But this time I'm just kind of flying along over the top of the pier, around the outside of Wellington Point, and then I'm flying backwards. So we'll see how this one goes. It's all at 30, this one's at 30, it's all at 34. But what I'm going to do on this mission is we're going to change a few things here. So basically 34 the whole way back. And then I think as we get to this point here, this is where I want to slightly increase the altitude just to see how it performs. So from 34, we're going to go to 40, and then we're going to go to this one, which we're going to make, I guess, 50. And then this one, we're going to make 60. So this is going to be a slightly different mission. You can see 34 all the way around the outside of the point. For some reason, it's automatically changed these points. So we're just going to leave that because it's slowly increasing. That's kind of what I wanted anyway. 34 for the majority, well, actually only for 2. And then it goes 35, 36, 37, 39, 40, and then it starts to really go up. Then it goes to 50, then it goes to 60. Point of interest is here in the middle, and that's 15 meters. I'm just going to load up the mission preview just to see this one. Okay, so you can see the mission preview here. If I zoom in a little bit, the drone is focusing in on that point of interest. We've made it 15 meters, so we are showing more of the horizon this time. We're just going to skip a little bit. So it's slowly increasing in altitude. And then as we get to that final point, it's going to do more of a revealing shot because it's going to pull back. And that's where it is increasing in altitude up to 50 meters and then up to 60 meters. And you can see from the mission preview, it is looking really good. So hopefully this is going to be a successful flight as well. The mission preview is very handy. And that's why I would suggest when you do get Dronelink to really play around with the desktop version, because you get so much more control over the flight and the experience of the waypoints. Okay, so now I'm gonna fly in the opposite direction, and I'm gonna fly along this coastline, whatever you wanna call it, down here. There are a few houses, some mangroves, and a few different kind of visuals along this path here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the focus point back over here. So there is an island up here called King Island. I think what I'll do is I'll kind of make the point of interest a little bit further over here, so that at all times, even when it's coming down here,
it is kind of looking over to King Island and looking over to everything that's happening over here. So what we're gonna do is we've got everything 30, 32, 34, and then it kind of just keeps at 34. 34 is a pretty good height, you know, it's legal height and everything, so I think that's fine. We'll make the point of interest this time. We'll go back to 10. Yeah, we'll go back to 10 this time, because I think that maybe gave it a little bit of a better look, especially if we are wanting to see everything that's happening in this area here. So we'll leave this as just a path that kind of comes down and then it follows down the coastline here. What I might do though is I might swing it back, because I do want to see how it performs on big turns. So let's see how it goes. Swinging back, almost doing like a U-turn. There we go. So that's kind of the path. Follows down, does a U-turn, and then comes back. The focus point is over here. This guy's at 10 meters, and we've got it going from 30, 32, and then it just goes to 34. So for this one, I kind of want to keep it relatively consistent because I do want to see how it goes with that turn at the end. But I think if we just keep it all at 34 for this one, it should be a nice smooth shot, nice and stable, nice and steady. Point of interest is looking good. And now we'll quickly preview this one to see how it all goes. But just quickly over here, there is the mission estimate. So I can click on that and it will tell me how long this whole flight's going to take, max speed and all of that kind of stuff. So that is important information definitely to know. So I have been doing 10 kilometers for the whole time. I'm going to bump it up to 15 just because I want to see how it performs with a little bit of a faster speed. Instead of 10 kilometers, we're going 15 just to see how it performs. Okay, so now we can see on the reveal that because the drone is coming down, it's actually got an angle away. So it is a revealing shot. Hopefully we can see the island and everything that's happening, but everything's looking pretty good there. I'm pretty happy with that. 15 kilometers, let's kind of see how it shows us it's going to turn. So it gets to that end point, and that's where you can reveal the whole of Wellington Point. And then it kind of just angles out further into the ocean and then should just follow down that path again. So we'll see how this goes. This looks like a pretty good mission as well. We've got 3 missions to test out. Let's see how they all go when I get to the field.
All right, guys, so I'm really pushing it here. It's been on and off rain all day, but I really want to make this happen. So let's launch the waypoints that I planned while I was at home, and let's see how this drone can handle waypoints using Dronelink. So this is the same for the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro. But what we're going to do here is we're actually going to load up a previous mission. The formatting is completely off. Let's launch that again. There we go. So you can see my list of waypoints on the left-hand side there. You can see I'm using the Mini 3 Pro for this first test here. And we're going to test out the U-bolt one, just because I am aware of the wind. And I feel like maybe that's the safer one to do here. All right, so everything's recording. It's estimating the time. It's saying it's going to take 5 minutes. So I understand obstacle avoidance will be turned off. And let's see how the drone goes. So I'm just kind of watching it. Because obviously this is the early point of Dronelink beta with Mini 3 and Mini 3 Pro. So I can see it's launched up in the sky. Seems pretty stable right now. And it's flying across to the pier. So as I said, it has been raining on and off. So if I have to abruptly land the drone, that will probably be why. But I'm just kind of keeping an eye on everything right now. That's why I'm testing this. Like I've said throughout this video, I do not recommend testing this in its current state. I'm kind of the guinea pig here, and we're gonna see how this goes. So I can see the drone is approaching its starting point right now. It's running the waypoint mission. So I can see the drone is just about to reach the first waypoint. Here we go. So it's locked on. It's realized, okay, I'm here at this first waypoint, and it's now started recording. Okay, it's actually looking really, really good so far. I can see that it's following along the path nicely. I can't remember. I think I set this one at 15 kilometers for the speed. And this one will just be a flat waypoint mission. So as you would have seen in the planning, I haven't increased the altitude to kind of see how it handles. But this test here for me is all about seeing how it handles this little bend down the bottom. That's why I called it the U-bolt. So I can see the drone is going really well. It's a windy day today as well. Like I said, rain on and off, the wind's kind of here. So it isn't the ideal setting to test this out, but I really do want to see how this performs. So far, when I'm looking at the video feed, it's looking smooth. It's looking extremely smooth, actually. So I'm going to have to make sure that I've got line of sight here. I'm just moving just to make sure I can see the drone. It's pretty early into its Waypoint mission, actually. It's only halfway down that first path. I made this maybe a little longer than I wanted to, but I am impressed so far. It's doing a really good job, and from what I can see, it looks smooth. Like no issues at all. Sometimes, like I've tested Dronelink, Litchi, and a few others in the past, sometimes the movements can be a little bit jerky, a little bit awkward. This is looking very good so far. Nice revealing shot. You can see the weather's a little bit all over the shop in the distance, but let's wait for this U-bolt. Let's see how it goes at the U-turn. That's going to be the true test here to see how it moves around a bend. So I'm just going to let it do its thing, Jen. And then let's bring it. Here's the moment of truth right now. It's reaching the U-turn point. Let's see, just watching the video feed, we'll chop in some of the actual footage recorded from the drone, but this is where it's gonna start turning. This is the moment of truth. And I'm watching this in real time, so I can kind of see, oh, I saw a little bit of that jerky movement, but overall it's looking good. Still looking really clean, nice and smooth. It's looking usable still. And now we're gonna go down the back line now, the final part of this waypoint. And so far this is looking really good. I'm impressed so far with how this is handling everything. The waypoint planner, as always from Dronelink, is phenomenal. So that was nice and easy on my computer to set that all up. And then I just came down to Wellington Point, press start, and it's doing its thing. I can see in the top left corner, waypoint 62%, a minute 36 now, 63, 64%. So this is a really good indicator just so I can monitor everything. I can see in the bottom left what's happening with the drone and the waypoint mission. And then I've actually got the video feed up now just so I can see if anything pops up, if any birds come around, or if I'm noticing some weird movement from the drone, maybe there's a bit too much wind. But considering the day I've chosen, which is not an ideal day, it's handling it really well. Nice, so that looked like a super successful mission. I tried to return to home, but we don't want that to happen. I love that little confetti effect as well. It's kind of cute. But I'm gonna try the second mission now. Here we go, it started recording. It's got good framing right now, focusing in on the end of the pier. People look like they're fishing maybe at the end. So we're at 34 meters so far. It's looking very smooth. That 10 kilometers an hour is, I think, the right move here. I think that is the right decision. So this is going to be an interesting one because we might get some awkward movement. So far it's looking pretty clean. And now this is where we pull away from the pier. It's going to be an interesting one. I saw it kind of moved a little bit awkwardly. So the app just crashed on me and it stopped the mission. So we're going to try this one again. It's actually starting from the point where it stopped, which is interesting. You can see in the bottom left, it's starting at the halfway point. So that's actually really smart. It hasn't taken us right back to the beginning, especially if you've done a really long waypoint mission. So this is the moment of truth that I was hoping for. It's cross our fingers the app doesn't crash again. Nice one. So that time I actually had the mission end and then the drone just hovers there, which was nice. We still got the confetti, loving that confetti. So we did get a chance to test out this final waypoint that I set up. This is actually the one that I was really keen to test. I hope this weather holds. It's looking like it's going to rain again soon. But this one's actually where the altitude increases as I get to certain waypoints. It's only a 2-minute mission. So let's hope that we can fit this one in and then wrap everything up. The waypoints are working flawlessly, as I've said a few times, just goes straight to its point. We've got the middle of Wellington Point as the actual anchor point, as the point of interest. This is quite a short mission, 1:30, but what's going to happen here is as it goes around the bend and starts to do the revealing shot, that's where the drone's going to increase in altitude. So I'm really curious to see how this one goes. So this is the moment of truth here. We're getting to the waypoint where it starts increasing in altitude. Looks like we're going to be getting close to 40 meters, and then I believe it goes to 50 and then 60 meters. And this is where we start pulling back to reveal all of Wellington Point. So that's my initial test of the beta version of Dronelink. As you could see, there were a few things that didn't work too well, a few things that worked really well. The app keeps crashing at the moment, so in its current state, not very reliable, but I was very impressed with Waypoints. Follow me mode is definitely not there just yet, so keep tuned, make sure to subscribe for that video and a few other Waypoints videos. But thank you again for all the support. It's been amazing. I really do appreciate all of you, and I will talk to you in the next video. Peace.